Welcome to the Wayland Spring Sports Recap Show. I'm Joey Fay, and I'm joined by Ida Schaudaner. And today we're looking back at an exciting season of Wayland athletics.
That's right. From the lacrosse fields to the tennis courts, the track, and everywhere in between, our student athletes gave it everything they had this spring. 6 out of the 9 teams made it to the playoffs, 3 teams made it to the Final Four, and 2 made it to the finals.
Starting with boys lacrosse, the Warriors finished with a record of 2-14, yet finished on the cusp of the playoffs, finishing one place out because of their extremely difficult schedule. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to recap the season.
Hi, I'm Pedro Mar, and today I'll be introducing the boys lacrosse. Roll the clips.
The Wayland boys varsity lacrosse team had a record of 2-14, but they had a really tough strength of schedule, missing the playoffs by 1 seed. There were also many freshmen that stepped up during the season, including Blake Williams, Hayden Rice, Ethan Rojas, and also Teddy Lehman. I spoke to sophomore midfielder Adam Capello, and he said the highlight of the season was practicing in the rain and messing around with his teammates. Players to look out for next year for the Wayland Warriors are rising juniors Adam Capello and Maddie Moscofian, along with rising senior Cooper Stoll. The future is looking bright for the boys lacrosse program here at the high school, and I cannot wait to see them back in action.
Girls lacrosse had a successful season this spring with a dynamic mix of experienced upperclassmen and rising young talent. The team went 9-9 and finished 4th in the power rankings, sending them to the playoffs with 3 home games on the turf.
The team made it to the Final Four where they lost to Medfield. At one time in the game, they were down 9-2, but came back to make it close where they lost 14-11. Let's hear from our sideline reporter for more on girls lacrosse.
Hi, I'm Matthew Moscofian, and I'll be reporting on Wayland girls lacrosse. Let's roll the clips.
The Wayland girls high school lacrosse team had a great 2025 season. They had a record of 12-9, and the 2025 captains were Jillian Mealy and Jane Tardif. They advanced to the Final Four after beating Foxborough in a very close game. Then, in the semifinals, they lost to Medfield. The year prior, they lost to Foxborough in the Elite 8. One standout player for the team was Jillian Mealy, and next year she will be attending the University of Vermont to play lacrosse there. The leading goal scorer for the team is Skylar Kilman, and leading the team to this great season was coach Ashley Means. Some players to look out for next season are Elle Mueller, Anya Chase, Summer B. Newton, and Melina Anton.
Track and field brought the speed, strength, and stamina all season long. Both the boys and girls teams competed hard with multiple personal bests and school records along the way. Junior Ryan McCormick will compete for Wayland in the New England Championships on June 14th. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to recap the season.
Hi, I'm Anna Fiore, and I'm going to be introducing boys track. Let's check out what they've been up to this season.
The Wayland High School boys track team had a great season. The captains were Luke DePietro Froyo, Brady Spencer, and Adrian Narvez. The DCL All-Stars this season were Ryan McCormick and Atticus DeGrenier. Players to look out for next season are Ryan McCormick, Syriac Schaff, Atticus DeGrenier, Will Lugo, and Jaden Taylor. A season highlight was DCL meet, and the MVP of the 2025 track season was Ryan McCormick. They have not picked captains for next year.
From the sprints to the distance events, jumps to throws, our athletes gave it everything. Sophomore Stacey Rentmore will compete in the New England Championships for the girls. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to recap their season.
My name is Nate Yaffe, and I'll be covering girls track. Roll the clips.
On the courts, boys tennis served up a great season. The boys team had many playoff wins to cap off a successful season, making it all the way to the Elite Eight in the state tournament. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to recap the season.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'm reporting on Wayland boys tennis, and let's roll the clips.
The boys tennis team had a great season overall, going 8-5. They were led by their single pairs, Josh Proctor, Brendan Ibb, and Sawyer Getz. Their double pairs were Jeffrey Zane and Kiyoshi Nimi, and the other pair was Daniel Yosifer and Charlie Hackett. They placed 5th overall going into the Division II playoffs, where they beat Milford in the round of 32. In the Sweet 16, they beat Westwood, moving them on to play Duxbury in the Elite Eight, where they sadly lost 4-1. Players to look out for next season are Kiyoshi Nimi, Daniel Yosifer, and Cesar Campos. Some highlights of the season were making the playoffs and making the Elite Eight.
Ida, you were on the tennis team. What was your favorite memory from the season?
My favorite memory from the season was winning a lot of games to teams that we usually wouldn't have beat in the past. The team showed determination all season, battling through tough matches and showing amazing sportsmanship and skill. A big round of applause for their hard work, making it to the state finals this spring. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to recap on the season.
Hi, my name is Grace Willis. I'm reporting on the girls' tennis season. Let's roll the clips.
The girls' tennis team has had an incredible season, finishing the regular season with a 10-5 record, which earned them the number 2 seed in the Division II state tournament. The girls are led by Bella Camacho, Elena Tan, Olivia Todd, Aria Samaganta, and Yumi Nimi. The highlight of the season for the girls was their incredible run through the playoffs, which earned them a spot in the Division II state finals. Their playoff wins were against Melrose, where they won 5-0. Next was on to Marblehead, where they beat them 4-1. And then in the Elite Eight, Duxbury, they beat 5-0. In the semifinals against Notre Dame Academy, the girls were down early in all their matches, but everyone rallied back to earn them a spot in the Division II state finals. Good luck, girls, this weekend in the state finals.
Next up is the softball team. The softball team was led by junior pitcher Sophia Beckett, who pitched almost 70 innings and had over 133 strikeouts.
The team finished with a record of 2-16 with big wins over Melrose and Waltham. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to recap this season.
Hi, I'm Josh Major here with Wayland Girls Softball. Let's roll the clips.
As the 2025 season comes to a close, the softball team has a lot of great highlights to look back on. Their record may not have shown for it, but it was the memories made along the way that made their season great. Sophia Beckett had another amazing year on the mound. She extended her total strikeouts to over 300 this year, bringing her closer to a record. Aubrey Calabro took on a big role and played catcher for the first time because the team was in need. Kelsey Kaufman had yet another great year at the plate, finishing the year with a .381 average. A highlight for the team this year was when they went into Waltham and beat them 12-6 on their senior night. Players to look out for next year are Sophia Beckett, Abby Bergeron, Kelsey Kaufman, Ryan Fruitman, Kira Hines, and Aubrey Calabro, who all showed promise at the plate this year. They are poised to come back next year with a good senior class and win some games.
The baseball season was full of dramatic moments and exciting playoff berth. Joey, weren't you on the team?
Yes, I was.
What was your favorite memory during the season?
A highlight for me was beating LS on their home field. It was something that we haven't done since 2012, so it was a pretty cool moment.
That sounds great, Joey. With more info on their season, we have our sideline reporter.
Hi, I'm Peter Papagianni, scouting the Wayland baseball team. Let's roll the clips.
The Wayland Warriors baseball team had a great season this year, clinching first round of the playoffs, being the 38th seed of a record with 10-10. Captain Owen Finnegan finished the season with a batting average of .338, 11 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, and 2 home runs. Captain Luke Chisholm hit .246 with 12 RBIs and pitched 4 wins for the Warriors. Pitcher and senior Desi Ward pitched 11.6 innings, 12 Ks, and a 0 ERA. Sophomore Joey Fay with 27 innings pitched, a 2.7 ERA with 2 wins and 2 losses. A highlight of the season for team manager PJ Maher is Owen Finnegan's go-ahead 2-run homer to clinch a playoff spot. Players to look out for next year are Albin Valdez, Mikey Johansson, Joey Fay, and George Bressler.
And finally, boys volleyball turned heads with a strong season, full of big blocks, powerful serves, and team first play.
The Warriors had another very successful season, went into the playoffs as the 3rd seed, and made their 2nd straight finals. Let's hear from our sideline reporter to highlight their season.
Hello, my name is Hayden Duffy. I will be introducing Wayland Boys Volleyball. Let's spike into some clips.
The Wayland Boys Volleyball team is having one of the most exciting seasons in school history. They made it all the way to the Final Four in Division II and will face Westfield on Tuesday, June 10th for a shot at the state championship. They finished the regular season with a 13-8 record and have added several impressive playoff wins since then. Wayland entered the tournament as the number 3 seed and have more than lived up to the expectations. This team also racked up some big individual honors. Mason Lee, Cooper Zarametta, and Liam Frenzel were all named DCL All-Stars. Dylan Englehart was named All-Conference, and Finn Bell was named DCL MVP. Finn also made school history this year. He became the first player ever at Wayland to reach 1,000 kills, and he also broke the school's all-time record in the process. One unforgettable moment this season was when Dylan Englehart made an incredible kick save in a recent match. That really showed the team's hustle. All eyes are on this team as they fight for a spot in the championship.
What a spring it's been for Wayland Athletics. From the playoff runs to the record-breaking performances, our spring teams gave everyone something to cheer about. We would also like to shout out our sailing, rowing, and ultimate frisbee teams on amazing seasons. In rowing this past weekend, Alex Dremoff and his partner Thomas Lee placed 3rd in the high school nationals.
Congratulations to all our student athletes, coaches, and fans for a season to remember. We can't wait to see what next year brings. If anybody at home would like to watch these games, go to Waycamp TV on YouTube.
Once again, I'm Joey Fay.
And I'm Ida Schaudaner.
Thank you for joining us for our Wayland Spring Sports Recap Show. And as always, go Warriors.